Man, oh man, never a dull moment with the Eagles as we just listened to Howie and Nick's end-of-year presser, and on top of it, we get some major breaking news as the Eagles are apparently getting ready to hire a new defensive coordinator. What is up, everybody? RB here. Welcome into A to Z Philly. Do me a favor, hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel as we're giving you all the latest news and updates, breaking it down as we head into the offseason. And what a wild-ass day, man. You start off your end-of-year presser by showing up 30 minutes late. People are questioning what the heck is going on. Well, maybe we have some reason now. Maybe we have some actual substance and we know what was going on in that meeting before this presser. So we'll talk about all of it. We'll get to the breaking news. But before we do that, let me give a shout out to our sponsor of today's video, BetMGM. Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up with the code ATOZPA and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. So find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today with the bonus code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you do not win your first bet. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. All right, let's just jump right into it, man, because I was taking notes. I was going through this presser, and they're just babbling. They're saying a bunch of nothing, which was expected, I will add, right? I wasn't really expecting too much. However, then the trickling effect starts to ensue. And we start to get more news and updates. What's going on? First off, let's talk about, for just a minute here, what Howie and Nick said, all right? The main thing from Nick Sirianni is that he said the new offensive coordinator that they will be bringing in will bring a new scheme and that the plan is for the Eagles offense to look different in 2024. He admits that they went stale. He doesn't really elaborate on why. He didn't really elaborate much of anything. But what I will say is that Nick did admit that the offense went stale. I was waiting for somebody to ask, like, why did a historic collapse happen? What happened internally? But, you know, the media did not really go that far in their questions. But, you know, he says it's about coming up with fresh ideas, bringing new schemes and, you know, just new innovations to the offense. And at one point, somebody asked him, you know, if the OC is going to call plays and the new DC is going to call plays and control their units, what are you going to do? And to that, he just sat there and he said, I'm going to head coach the football team. I'm going to be the guy in charge of everything. I may sit in defensive meetings. I may sit, you know, in everything now and just try to get more, you know, inclusive in all of these different units. That's really what Nick summed it up as. Another main point is that Howie Roseman, you know, started talking about how much of a winning coach Nick is and the numbers and the stats before the collapse, which kind of pissed me off. But Howie Roseman said that there's a preconceived notion about linebacker that they don't care who plays at the linebacker. And that is the truth. The Eagles have not valued that position for a long, long time. And he says to that they lost two good players from the Super Bowl, aka they walked in free agency, and Nakobe Dean got hurt. He said he believes in Nakobe Dean and he's relying and valuing the young players to step up this next season. And to that I say, well, it feels like we're kind of walking into more of the same then. You need to go out, value that position, and finally get one of the top players at the position. He also elaborated on the decision to go to a new defensive coordinator midseason, and he said that, you know, Nick came to him kind of how he did with Shane Steichen in 2021 and said that he wanted to give up play calling to Shane Steichen. He kind of just deflected the blame to Nick here and said he came to him. It was his decision. Howie told him that he trusted in him to do the best for the team, and Nick said that it was his decision all along, and he was telling the truth. And at the end of the day, he thought it was the best decision for the football team. Now, it was an awful decision at the time, but that's what Nick Sirianni decided to do, and it was all on him, according to Howie Roseman. Now, during this press conference, we get a huge update from Adam Schefter. In fact, they asked Howie and Nick about it, and they tried to dodge the question, and he even said, like, you know, damn, we have to do this presser at this time, and, you know, this is just the uncertainty of it, right? Like, you don't know what's going to happen, and of course, Adam Schefter probably knew about it, and he tried to hop on it right away. So this is what Adam Schefter reports. He says, the Dolphins and Vic Fangio have mutually agreed to part ways. Fangio now will be the top target for the Eagles to hire as defensive coordinator, and a deal is expected. Miami is allowing Fangio to leave to be closer to his family in Pennsylvania. Fangio and the Eagles had interest in working together in 2023, but the timing did not work. This time it will. So that's guaranteed. The Eagles are going to hire Vic Fangio as their defensive coordinator. Give me your thoughts down below. What is your main reaction? Like, life just comes at you fast, man. All this stuff just coming boom, 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 all at once. And it's all over the place. Nick Sirianni was asked about it. Like I said, he says, quote, "We got a lot of good targets we're working through." Obviously, they were lying. They were deflecting. And that's probably why they were late to the meeting, because they were in there trying to finalize a contract with Vic Fangio. And Airy puts this here on Twitter. He says, Eagles likely to hire Vic Fangio. He was there in 2022 as a consultant. Remember, 2 weeks before the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, the Eagles actually hired Vic Fangio under the radar. Nobody really talked about it, to be a consultant for the Eagles. The Eagles have wanted Vic Fangio all along. And what happened was Jonathan Gannon waited out. Then he ended up taking the job in Arizona, and Vic Fangio had already decided to go to the Miami Dolphins. And that is where the Eagles went and hired Sean Desai. So they really wanted this guy, and he's from the area, and he wants to come home, and he's been in the league for what, like 30 years? He's been in a bunch of different organizations and situations when it comes to defensive coordinator and linebackers coach. I think he's coached corners at one point. I'm not exactly sure. He's been on the college level. He's been everywhere. But the question is this the right hire? So last year, Vic Fangio's Miami Dolphins were 10th in the league in yards allowed. They were 22nd in points allowed. And when I looked up the blitz percentage, to no surprise, Vic Fangio was down at the bottom, 27th last year in blitz percentage for the Miami Dolphins. And it just goes right with his scheme. If you don't know much about Vic Fangio, if you've never heard about him, essentially this is how he's characterized. He doesn't like the blitz a lot. He likes to run a 4-3 and force other teams to run the football. And he's going to play the bend but don't break defense. And all these disciples like a Jonathan Gannon who try to run this bend but don't break scheme, this is the leader. This is the leader of the pack right here, Vic Fangio. And to that, I'm a little cautious here. I'm weary. I'm like, man, all we've heard over the last week is about the Eagles needing to be more aggressive, and the fan base wants a new sense of life. You know, we've been hearing about guys like Wink Martindale and Ron Rivera and guys who will come in and bring a lot more pressure than the Eagles have seen in recent years. And it almost feels like they're trying to go back to the Jim Schwartz days and bring in a guy, you know, like Vic Fangio, who's going to allow those underneath routes and just try to, you know, be cautious on the back end. Really what the Eagles have been trying to do the last 5 years. And, you know, I don't know if they have the right personnel for that. I don't know if they have the guys not only in the secondary, but how about up front? Right? Vic Fangio wants to win with 4 up front. He wants to force the other teams to run and win in the trenches. But, you know, is Darius Slay going to be comfortable playing a majority of zone defense? I feel like Slay is much better when he's pressed up on his receiver and he's more of a ball hawk. And who knows who's going to be on the other side of Slay. I think if you want to run this philosophy, I think Vic Fangio makes sense because he's the leader of it and he has been around the game and he knows defense inside and out. So I think it's smart from an experiential standpoint because, you know, you want to bring in a guy with a lot more confidence and a guy who knows how to kind of adapt to personnel, which we have not seen when it comes to Sean Desai because he was so new. We obviously didn't see it with Matt Patricia, but is this the right style for your team going forward? Is this the swagger that you want them to have? Because it almost feels like they're going to be playing more of the same, if anything. So that's really my main thoughts so far on Vic Fangio. We'll do more of a breakdown. We'll think about it going forward. But my main thoughts off the top are it's good to bring in a guy who wants to be here, who is from the area, and they tried to get him last year. So you finally got your guy. But does it match personnel-wise? So that is my question to the people out there. Give me all your thoughts on Vic Fangio down below in the comment section. We'll wait and see how this plays out. And we'll wait to see if it is confirmed and also where the Eagles decide to go on the offensive side of the ball. But those are my main thoughts. Give me yours. Appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully better days coming for the Eagles. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.